All right, welcome back. Episode 62 of the Young Old Heads podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tommy, aka TV Sports Cards, and I'm here as always with my good friend and co-host Max, aka Cards Max, aka Cards Max, the new Leaf CEO. Max, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I think that's a funny news story though to immediately jump into, given our love for Brian Gray as a real human being. Brian Gray has always gotten himself into some drama over the past several years, and I think is the epitome of a really good CEO who's been able to keep, I don't want to say really good CEO, but someone who's been able to stay relevant in the trading card game despite having near zero licensing, which is incredible and very difficult to do.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, for the listeners that might be ignorant, Leaf, one of the minor card companies out there, makes some decent products. Max has had a fascination with their CEO, Brian Gray, for a long time, who recently it was announced that stepped down. Seemed like it was like he just didn't want to work anymore kind of thing, wants to spend time with his family or something, totally whatever you do, Brian
That's not the
Gray.
rumor I heard.
No, there's like a statement. Did you not read it?
No, but the rumor I heard was that Fanatics was going to buy Leaf.
What?
Have you not been gossiping? Have you not been in the gossip trees? The gossip?
No,
mills?
what? Give me the gossip. What do you,
Everyone was gossiping saying Fanatics was going to buy Panini, but some of the gossip that I heard was that Fanatics buyout was imminent.
What does Fanatics want Leaf for?
What? I mean, Fanatics has been really big in the vertical monopolization and just owning every single entity that exists. Maybe this is just conspiracy theory, Max, coming out a little bit early at 6 o'clock. But
I was also last year I was saying that Fanatics was going to buy Panini like every week, I think, until it never happened.
Until it didn't. But no, we love Brian Gray, or at the very least, I love Brian Gray. I respect him as a galvanizer and someone who's been able to stay relevant, and not just stay relevant for attention's sake, but been able to always pushing the envelope of what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable for a trading card. Like, I immediately think of the Joe Exotic. Like, thinking about Brian Gray's tenure, I think of the Joe Exotic card with the autograph from Tiger King.
The Harambe.
The Harambe card from 2016. I think of the COVID virus card that was printed to demand and then cut from circulation. I mean, I think of the Livy Dunn autos, who is now dating number 1 overall pick Paul Skeens, which I'm sure is a travesty to many of our listeners. These are the things I think about when I think of Brian Gray, and they aren't exactly boring things.
No, and I'll give him credit. He brought in, I think there's a lot of episodes where I've said that I would love some more music cards and pop culture stuff, and he did something about it in some capacity. I mean, he got a lot of, relevant pop culture figures to sign in Leaf Pop Century. Those cards have like a pretty strong following. I think that if Fanatics was interested in buying Leaf, that would be like kind of the main hallmark product that they're probably going after, I would think.
Yeah, Leaf has a lot of individual licensing agreements. I think I saw that like he specifically has like a long contract with Livy Dunn, which is obviously very interesting. But even I'm not even just saying that for shock value. I'm saying that whatever, like, Leaf does not have the biggest ammo or the biggest ammunition here. They're trying to get talent to sign with them because really the individual licensees is all they have. So it's either with money, which I'm sure is limited, or the way of, I don't know. I'm not a CEO. I don't have the handle Leaf CEO. So yeah. I don't know. All I know is that I respect innovation.
And we respect transparency as well. Innovation and transparency, two of our favorite things. Brian Gray, he did both of them.
Yeah.
Whether or not,
Speaking of innovation, I want to pivot a little bit to this topic we discussed last week. I specifically was discussing all of the radiating rookies that I bought from Topps Chrome, which is a new insert set or short print set or whatever. I think there's like 250 copies of these per player, but I'm panning to the camera now. This Corbin Carroll, this isn't just like just a cool image.
I love Corbin Carroll, dude. He's sick.
And then I have a few Adleys as well.
Wow.
and I'm setting them to get graded. So if you think I'm pumping and dumping, then fuck you. I'm not seeing these for another 2 months. So that would be a pretty ill-timed pump and dump. But
Not enough people listen to this podcast for it to be a pump and dump, I don't think.
hey, don't doubt my ego and need to influence others. But
I feel like the radiating rookies, Max, after I've sat on the idea for the week since you talked about them last week, I feel like they are dugout peaks of Topps Chrome now.
I like that. It's like, so as someone who's obviously really collector centric in how I try to buy things, because I am a collector, but like I enjoy looking at the super short print autographs, and not just from like a marketing flipping perspective, but like just from like a coolness perspective. And I also like math. I'm a wannabe math minor that couldn't make it past Calc 3, but I always think of print run math. And even since like the 2018, 2019 releases, think of Otani, think of Acuna, the short print variations, the image variations for about 2018 update have a print run of about 3,000 copies. And the super short print image variations have a print run of about 300 copies. I don't remember the exact way that was used to quantitatively analyze this print run math, but I remember someone did the print run math, and that is like the accepted estimates. But the thing that's interesting regarding that is that Topps Golds are a print run of 2018 that year. And for the most part, the demand for the image variations always is greater than the demand for the base parallel. And then that's even true with your normal. That's intuitively correct, right? Think about how people want a Soto Gatorade Bath super short print from 2018 way more than they would want a Topps Gold. Or I guess I'm comparing apples to oranges, but my point is still stands and is easily digestible. The radiating rookies aren't serial numbered. I want to say their print run is about 250 to 300 copies, but there's still a different image than the normal rookie. They still have the flagship design. They have the cool, design, the yellowish, atomic symbol in the corner, whatever. It's unique enough to be really high in demand while not just being another parallel, which is what at least drives me to it as seeing the value from it from a collecting standpoint.
Yeah, and I feel like Topps gets a lot of hate for not having the rare inserts that Panini offers in some of their products. So, they're trying something. It's an innovation. We'll see how it works.
Like, as much as we like poop on Fanatics a little bit for just trying to be a money grab and just trying to buy out everything and going into an industry that they have no previous experience with, I want more innovation. People are easy to be critical of innovation as just cash grabbing, but without the innovation, you just get several years, if not decades, of the exact same thing with nothing to keep people occupied other than a new rookie class, which is probably of second-year players anyway.
Yeah, I think, we'll see how the radiating rookies go year by year. If that's something that's hold, if they start pumping them a little more, we'll see. But Max, did you see the sale of a black 2008 update Clayton Kershaw Topps card?
I have not.
All right. PSA 8, 2008 update, Clayton Kershaw, black. I think it's out of 57, 58.
I'm lying. I think I did see it. Didn't it do like 5,000 or something?
$9,847.
And I know that was like the all-time record.
Yeah, I don't know if this card is even like sold on auction before, but almost 10K for a Clayton Kershaw paper Topps card. It's kind of nuts.
It shows just how much people love flagship plaque, and it shows the value of having that tradition. It's why our golds are important. It's why our black parallels are important. And outside of that, and maybe gold refractors and maybe red refractors, there's nothing else that really has that standalone year by year value. There's nothing else where it's like, wow, I want this for a Hall of Fame inductee.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
I just had to throw that out there in this episode since we talk about them so much. But Max, you went to a card show this week, and I always love just living vicariously through what you're up to. So what show did you go to? How'd it go?
I went to the Hobby Slam in Miami, Florida. I drove about 4 hours down. It is a 2-day show on Saturday and Sunday. I was a little bit disappointed. It was a 300 table show. The local fanfare and hype for this show was very strong. And even from a social media standpoint, I think it was seen as the show to fly to and to be at for that specific weekend. We have Burbank Card Show next week, and we have the Dallas Card Show the week after that. And I didn't enjoy the room too much. I don't think the people that I knew that flew out for the show enjoyed the room that much. I sold about $3,000 of cards, and I bought about $3,000 of cards. The most interesting point, which may be interesting to you as an individual, Tommy, is that every single deal that I did was with another vendor. There was not a single collector or not even collector, granted, but even a single walker that I showed to, let alone a collector. I think Florida is a haven for whatnotters and repackers just because it is a tax haven with no state income tax. So you had backyard setting up, you had VIP rips, you had a few of the other bigger mystery packers that were cashing people out. But that's kind of what I was surprised by. It was meant to be this huge, massive show, and I did not sell to a single person that did not own a table, either by them walking up to me or by me walking up to them.
Was this one of those shows that like has never been done before, but now they're hyping it as like a 300 table show that like you should fly to?
No, this was, I believe they did Hobby Slam for the first time last year.
So, but it's like it's a post-COVID show. It's not a show that's been around before.
That's the thing. It's a post-COVID show. Jumping off that, there was no vintage in the room. Like usually I'll say there's very little or there's like 10, 15%. There was pretty much no vintage in the room entirely, which is just rare. There are a lot of logistics. So if you run a card show and you want to know what not to do, then listen to this. Parking at the convention center was $7 per day and $20 for in and out for both days, which is just a really bad experience if you are a walker. I want to say admission was $10 or $15, which I get it if I get it if the venue's expensive. I get it if you want to cover overhead. I'm understanding of that. But just to do the parking and to do the show admission, that's like $25 out the door, which is a little bit more expensive for a card show admission. I think the table pricing was fine. I think it was $300 for the weekend, but I've heard lots of logistic issues with the loading zones and the tables underselling, and they didn't sell out. To my understanding, they didn't sell out of all 300. It was just overall not something that many people were excited about as vendors, as walkers. They started the show at noon, which is really, they did noon to 6 o'clock for Saturday, which was really strange.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So I would probably drive to it again. I did what I needed to do, but this would not be a show that I would fly to.
Dude, I just feel like there's so many shows that are just trying to be too big, too quick. It's like you're going to be way better off as a card show starting in a smaller venue, having it outgrow that venue and have the demand be there for like a hype, like, oh, we're a new big venue, like that sort of thing. Then like, oh, this is a new 300 table show. All your favorite influencers will be there. Come jerk off, backyard breaks or whatever. It's like $5 to make out with $5 to make out with whoever that dude is in backyard breaks. Anyway.
But I have a really good counterpoint for that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'd say the Burbank Card Show is probably a top 3 to 5 show in the country right now. A year ago, they did not even run show number 1 yet.
Yeah, a year ago, Burbank Sports Cards was still the biggest card shop in the entire country. So it's like,
that's the thing.
That's way different.
You have the branding, you can have the marketing. That doesn't mean you'll get a good show.
Dude, but that's way different though, because of the like Burbank brand and like they basically run a card show every day in their shop.
That's true. But in terms of just getting enough people's attention to run a show, like I feel like Hobby Slam, I heard about Hobby Slam. They were way better at the media and the advertising. They had like Veriswap and SGC and all these other companies. DCI was there setting up and grading cards. They were really good at getting the corporate sponsors and getting their name out. Their show itself just sucked.
Yeah, because if you focus all your attention on advertising around the country and you forget to advertise to your local consumers, like you miss out on actually having like these like local collectors walking around the show. That's like essential to having a good show for dealers. I think like that's why I talked about it kind of last week with Alex, but like that Vegas card show sounds very similar to this Hobby Slam show where like everyone and their mom was there who's big on Instagram
I
and
love
cards,
moms.
but there was no one and their mom there as a kid and their parents or whatever. As like that's what Chicago shows are dope because there's a lot of just like people walking around who
Yeah,
are
I mean,
spending $20 or whatever.
yeah, I mean, even compared to the local Tampa show that I did, I want to say 2 weeks ago, where it was almost all collectors that were just walking in the aisles, and I was able to buy and banter, and I could tell them why this trout card was a really cool one, and this trout card wasn't as cool. So part of it is just the dialogue that you get to have with other people. It wasn't. I will say, I'm not going to complain about getting cashed out of $3,000 of baseball at prices that I found appropriate. I'm not complaining about that. They did a very good job of getting liquidity in the room, but the dealers were dealers that weren't very compelling, and I was let down from the show in general.
What were the deals? Any notable deals that were made?
Any notable deals that were made?
Any cool cards that were
I
bought?
bought another Judge Bowman Chrome Auto. I now own three. I own two PSA 10s and one BGS 95,
All
which is
base.
all base. It's tough to get color. That was one of my cooler buys. I bought an Ellie De La Cruz Topps Chrome Auto. I bought a Ronald Acuna Topps Chrome Auto. I bought a PSA 10 2001 Topps Ichiro rookie card, which is really cool.
PSA 10.
PSA 10.
Mm.
So I bought that. I paid relatively strong on that. I immediately had a guy in mind who bought the Pujols PSA 10 from me paper, and I immediately hit him up, and I'm like, "Hey, like, is this a U card?" And he's like, "I'm not trying to buy right now, but like, what's the number?" And I gave him the number, and we came out to a deal very easy. Shout out Kyle. I believe his handle is KC Cards, but he always has cool collecting taste. But when I saw, it's always fun when like you see a card and I'm like, yeah, I know exactly who is going to appreciate that card most.
That's sick. Did you
KC
buy
Cards
that?
underscore on Twitter.
Wait, say that again. It kind of cut out.
Kyle is KC Cards underscore on Twitter. He has very good taste.
Nice. Shout out, Kyle. Did you buy that 2013 Jumbo Mike Trout patch?
I've had that for a little bit. I just wanted to show it off because it's just so cool. That's one of my favorite cards that I own right now.
I don't know if you talked about that card yet on the pod. Can
Really?
you tell the
Well,
people
I
what the
bought
card
it.
is?
Oh, it is a 2013 Topps. So in 2013, Topps Chrome had jumbo patch autographs, which is just such a cool idea for a Chrome product. You have these extremely thick relic cards. Most of them have nasty patches. The patch on my Trout is like mid. I'm not going to overhype it. It's a 3-color patch, but like the camo of the Trout lettering is like in the corner. It's a cool patch.
It's a camo patch. It's like still camo. That's sick.
No, it is. There's 10 copies, but like there's some like gorgeous ones. But it's also, so since it's a Chrome card, it's like a Chrome refractor that's like surrounding the relic, and then a sticker auto, which like you can complain about sticker autos, sure, but like it's a super cool card. It's a card that some Trout that's a little bit culty to Trout collectors, and I haven't had many of them hit me up, but I don't really care. I mean, it's a little bit funny because the cards that I end up holding the most, I think inherently are the cards I'm higher on the most, because it's not just you sell it for 90% and you wash your hands. And I'm okay working to try to find that to a collector or enjoying that to myself, i.e., collecting it myself. And those are cards that usually I'm set, like I was at auction, I set the comp. I don't care because I know there's only 9 more. If one of the other 9 show up, I'll bid on that one too. And it's cool owning fun pieces of cardboard, and otherwise that would be disposable income that would be very, very hard to justify if it were entirely discretionary. So I love owning cool cards like that.
That's a sick one. That's a sick one. I wanted to hear a little bit about it
Yeah.
because I feel like they don't. I'm shocked that they don't really do those anymore. Like I feel like that would be something they would bring back now that they're trying to pump up, cooler chase cards and stuff. I don't know.
I think that was a one and done for that year. Like I think like they didn't do any other Chrome jumbo patch autos again.
Was that an update card? Is that update or is
No,
that
it's
just normal? Normal Chrome.
But I'm looking through cards that I have in my greeting pile right now, and some of this stuff is just like exciting. Like I have this Ronald Acuna Red Sapphire at a 5, and it's just so clean.
Is he liquid right now?
Yeah, because of the MVP race. But I mean, non-rookie stuff isn't. But like stuff like that, I think. I mean, I'm sending it to grading, so I don't really care to say it. Fuck you if you think I'm pumping and dumping in my sphere of influence. But I won that at auction in a PSA 9, I think for like $189.
That's not bad.
And like, this is just such a cool card. It's a red out of 5. I'll chase red out of 5s out of most players just because they're cool.
I would have guessed that you paid like $300 for that in a PSA.
I think that was like my max bid was like in the 300s. I love when that happens. I love when like my max bid is like strong because it's like I usually try to like think of eBay strategy tip. I just go on Gixxon. I try to just before I even know what I think it will approach, just put my best number into the Gixxon so I don't have to worry about it. And then once it's time to go, I either get outbid or usually it's something that's really far. Like my max bid was way higher than it actually went, which makes me feel pretty good. Or it will be like extremely close. Like I won a Bobby Witt gold refractor auto from Platinum Anniversary, and my Gixxon snipe was like 366, and the next highest bid was 363. And usually it's a minimum increment of like $5. So that means like my bid was like I needed exactly like 366, whatever the number was. I was like within $3 of the actual bid behind me. So yeah, that's a little
Fun
cool
facts.
story, bro.
We love the eBay tips here. If you
But
come here for nothing else, it's Max teaching you how to use eBay.
but Tommy is a LeBron James to Dwayne Wade alley ooper. He sets the item on his watch list when he's sober, and he drunk bids it when he's inebriated.
That is
That is the
not
other
true.
strategy that I do celebrate. That doesn't require much planning.
That was a viral tweet that I had like 2 years ago that Max just recently found out. Max, did you see that I tweeted?
I knew it originally, but I retweeted it because it was just timeless.
It's a timeless tweet. Did you see the replies to my tweet where I got the Shohei card? I got a Shohei card in the mail like the night before or the day of his injury, but I posted the card like 3 hours before it was announced, and I was like, "How can you not want to buy Shohei cards?" And then a bunch of fucking assholes replied some bullshit to it. Did you see any of these?
I saw it a little bit, and then I saw you were like, "How did I cause this?"
Or dude, he goes. Some guy goes, "Does it come with a UCL?" Some guy says, "Does it come with a guaranteed successful Tommy John surgery?"
That's a weird one.
I don't know. And then because he tore his UCL, yeah, no fucking shit, you dumbass. I don't know.
I am also like actively looking at Ohtani newly listed on eBay and just trying to find. I was trying to find people that like would panic list really low, but I found like nothing. I actually did a tweet like about an hour ago where like I saw the Ohtani bat bag carrying, Bowman Chrome short print. Yeah, cool card, short print from Bowman Chrome. I bought one in preseason at like $600 in January Dallas, and I think they peaked in a 9 at like 2,500. So that's just as a testament to how crazy Ohtani stuff has been. But point being, a PSA 10 a week before the UCL tear sold for $5,500 best offer. There is one at auction ending tonight, and that last I checked is at 4,150 in a PSA 10. And I pretty much sent a link to the auction. I pretty much said, hey, like last day 5,500. If this ends anywhere near that 5,500, then that like really is just a testament to how strong Ohtani's market is.
Yeah, like I haven't seen many of these, the Eric Whiteback. There hasn't been any this card sold for this card now sells for this for Shohei where it's dropping. I don't see cards really dropping.
I found I will say I capitalized on one panic sell deal. I was in like a Facebook on the Shohei Ohtani Facebook group at like 8 a.m. the following morning. And the 2017 like mega box?
Yeah.
I pretty much picked up a PSA 10 of that and a BGS 9.5 of that for the same price of what a PSA 10 was doing before the injury.
So you did get one panic seller.
I got one panic sell, and I'm going to do well in that panic sell, which is cool.
That's sick.
But sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, last thing on the Ohtani panic selling that I can think of that comes to mind is that the Bowman Chrome #1 non-short print, not to be confused with the bat bag, PSA 10s were doing 50. Again, I know this market to a core, which is like really weird, but like they're doing 1500. They were doing like 1400, 1500 peak at the national. Then they were closely doing about 1200 to 1300 after the national and also right before the national. And then they were calming down at like the normal 1100 that they were usually doing. And then after the injury, they dipped to like 800 to 900, which is a pretty sizable, like, I don't know my math, like 25% dip, give or take 1100 to 850 or so. But that's why we want to get cards that are numbered, that are cool, that are parallels, that aren't just a boring base card. We aren't in 2020 where base cards are stocks and you can just buy as many as you want and invest. If you're doing this for money and you're doing it to hold, which I don't recommend doing, but even if you do, own the cool shit, own the cool stuff. I respect you if you want to collect base. I respect any collector who wants to collect things, but that should be a sobering reminder about how items with a 2,000 or so pop count are way more volatile and susceptible to fall than items with 50 copies.
Clip it, put it in your memory bank. Never forget that. Max, what else is on your mind before I transition us here? I feel like we've had a lot of great episodes lately. We had Alex come on, talk a lot about, dealer life as a card dealer pro. I'm ready to get into cards you sold on eBay unless there's anything else that you wanna rant about right now.
Cards that I sold on eBay or bought on eBay, or I'm sorry, I misheard you.
Sorry. Other than the Jordan Walker 101 Superfractor getting put into a binder page, which was unreal. And
that is cool.
That dude, we might need to have that. Whoever did that might need to come on the podcast because of how amazing that is. But I just want to hear what you've been doing on eBay, Max. You didn't give us any taste of cards you bought at the show. I don't know what you bought. I don't know.
I didn't. The thing is, I didn't buy too much. Like those, like Ellie De La Cruz, Acuna, Judge Auto, the Ichiro. That was like most of what I bought. I had my Paolo Banchero Blue Donruss Auto get binned on eBay for $1,000, which isn't bad considering I think I bought it raw on eBay for like $275 and a PSA 10, and then it sold for $1,000. So
well, that's balling. He's balling in this FIBA thing.
I haven't even been paying attention to it, but it's cool. Paolo, I'm loving Paolo. I think he's fun. I have in my hand a really cool card that I bought off Twitter. It is a David Ortiz Tops Now ALDS. I don't want to say retirement card. It is captioned "Crowd thanks Poppy as legend says goodbye," and it's a PSA 10 2016 Tops Now auto. It is the blue parallel out of 49, and it says, it doesn't say thank you. It just says thank Red Sox Nation. I assume that's meant to be thank you, but it just says thank Red Sox Nation.
That's an inscription on the card. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, and I bought it at what I thought was a good price, and it's on my desk, and that's what I think is cool. I am really ready to submit stuff to PSA. I did a submission right after the national, and I've been stockpiling since. I think I have about 13 cards to submit to Beckett RCR, and I think I have 5 for PSA $40 and maybe 13 or so for PSA bulk. PSA bulk is super slow. Don't submit bulk right now. You need to have a more expensive. This is just a pro tip. You need to have a more expensive service level in your package if you're submitting bulk right now. Otherwise, they will not be opening the package. I have a package that delivered on August 7th at PSA and is still unopened and unchecked in because I only have a bulk sublevel there. But I sent out another package that arrived at PSA on the 18th of August, and it was opened on August 23rd. So if you're a rookie or you're a newbie and you have a bulk order, have another order in there, hopefully one that you generally want to do. There's a thing that you can combine the tag on the check-in tag that you would also put on your package. You can combine all your orders into one tag. So then once they open up the package, because they need your express order, your bulk order is also there, and it's probably going to be checked in at the same time. So don't just submit bulk if you just have bulk.
Just because they need to have some higher end thing that they're like, oh, we got to open this package to grade this card.
Pretty much. They're getting to the bulk, but when I was calling PSA, because I had a little fiasco where PSA and FedEx both dropped the ball, it was a little bit scary, but the packages recovered. But while I was on the phone with them, I was like, hey, this order hasn't checked in from August 7th. What's up? And they're like, yeah, the earliest we're checking in packages right now is from July 27th. And that was when the national was. And that's usually the case. They usually get backlogged around this time of year. So keep that in mind.
Do you have to wait on hold as long anymore on customer support for PSA?
Yeah, I have them in my speed dial. I have them as a safe contact. And at 10 a.m., which I will be doing tomorrow because I need to call them, I will be going on my phone. I will be pressing the PSA button. Also, I love speed running the PSA, like speed dial, the PSA automated tone feature. You just go to your keypad, you press 1 and 1, you wait 10 seconds, you press 1 and 1, and then you wait 10 seconds again, and you press 1 and 1, and then you're on the callback queue. Because they give you like 30 seconds of jargon.
Yeah, they give you the like press 2 for random shit.
Oh, it's like, oh, if you need to go see your order, go to psa.com and go to orders. It's like, is your order still there? And then you have to press 1. But
oh my god. Well,
no,
pro tip.
I've never been first in line. I think my high score is, even after doing the speed running, is like 6th in line. Or like even if I call straight at 10 a.m. and I speed run it, it's be like, you're the 6th caller in the callback, and like 5 people called before me.
Who are you? Who
Yeah,
are you beating
exactly.
Max in line?
Yeah, I want to give you a handshake.
Max, did you before we do eBay buys, did you see the Veriswap drama from this week?
Yeah. How
Do
much do you?
Well, here's what I know, and then you can
Yeah,
fill in the
I'll
gaps
fill
for
in the
me. I saw Ryan's Cards put out a tweet being like, "This is ridiculous" from Veriswap. It was like someone had traded a Trevor Lawrence optic auto for something else, or they got a Trevor Lawrence optic auto and a trade on Veriswap. It was a raw card. It had been deemed by Veriswap to be a quote unquote like clean card or something. They have like a 0 to 8 scale, which seems super arbitrary, but card was clearly had some scratches on it, like was not by any means we've talked about how funny the word clean is as an adjective for a card, but did not seem like a clean card to anyone. And then the Veriswap CEO sends a voice message to this guy saying, like, this is why I don't think people should trade raw cards. There's too much whatever subjectivity to it. Like, there's a lot of dangers to it. I honestly think you putting this out there is going to be like saving us a lot of time trying to tell people about the dangers of trading raw cards. Basically saying like, thank God you had this experience. Please tell everyone so they don't trade raw cards on our platform anymore. It's like, shouldn't you just like, if you're worried, my take is like, if you're going to say some shit like that as a customer support person for your company, maybe just don't accept raw cards. Make it a strictly graded card trading platform. I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird because part of my understanding of his rationale was that we are a middleman service, and you are saying how this properly demonstrates our ability to middleman. So this is actually a positive if you decide to shout about it. And while also simultaneously just hinging on, we threw this BS stipulation in our TOS. That's cool, but it's in our TOS. Fuck you, was the main takeaway. And just because it's in our TOS, that's law and you agreed to it. And so you're doing it against your will. But yeah, so to amplify, just you pretty much summed it up. Seller, who is a pretty respectable seller, Rise Above Cards, he did a trade on Veriswap. The seller was very shady. Excuse me, he bought the card on Veriswap. The seller or the trader who sent the card out was knowingly very deceptive about the card condition. I think to the tune of where the acquirer, because there's no buyers and sellers, the acquirer, Rise Above, essentially lost like $500 worth of value on the card. And it was a little interesting because like Veriswap was on Ryan's Discord server, Ryan's Cards LLC, great guy, runs a really interesting marketplace. And the server has it so that there's 3% middleman fees on the server. And for the longest time, Veriswap has been at 6% middleman fees. So Raymond, the Veriswap CEO or whatever, was doing like a little bit of self-promotion that like maybe he shouldn't have been doing. And then adding on to this Veriswap drama, he gets like, after this Veriswap stuff, it's like he was he was not welcomed in that server anymore. But then that server also was doing 3% middleman fees, while Veriswap's doing 6% middleman fees. So after he got kicked and after all this drama happened with this Trevor Lawrence, Veriswap announces that they're now dropping their middleman fees from 6% to 3%.
I saw that. I actually got an email from
Oh, they've
Veriswap, even though
announced it everywhere.
yeah, like how do they even have my email? I don't know. Oh, I have my do not disturb not on. Nice.
Yeah.
But we've talked about Veriswap. I feel like we've kind of followed it since it's kind of an interesting idea and platform, but not good looks for them this week.
Yeah, I think part of it is that they're banking on this just fading away. And I think that's the idea for most companies. I don't know, man. Like, the company has money. The company's put probably tens of thousands of dollars into their marketing budget. They're not going away. And they probably would want this to be ignored. But I don't know. Don't
restrict
put
it to yeah.
Yeah, not cool. Veriswap bad.
No,
They're on my shit
Veriswap
list.
bad. Just if you're gonna do some shit like that, just restrict it only to graded cards. I don't know.
Yeah, and they've been okay for graded cards.
Yeah. So that's that. Max, what do you buy on eBay this week, or do you want me to start?
What have I bought on eBay this week? I'm going to my purchase history.
Here, I'll start. I got it up.
Okay, fine.
I'm excited about this card. It's a baseball card. It's not a gold cup. I bought a 2011 Topps Triple Threads relic, red parallel out of 36. And the card is Tim Lincecum, Buster Posey, Matt Cain with the 2010 World Series champs Triple Threads. It's actually my first Triple Threads relic I've ever bought in my life. But I've been after these for a while.
Can I guess how much you paid?
Yeah, guess how much I paid for it. Out of 36.
Out of 36. Remind me of the subjects.
So we got Tim Lincecum, Buster Posey, Matt Cain, who are probably like the 2010 team, other than like Brian Wilson, probably like the three most important guys to the team.
I'm going to be aggressive for you, and I'm going to say $56.
So this was actually a newly listed instant snipe. It was $25 plus $5 shipping.
That's good.
Pretty nice. I've been looking at these relics. They're kind of like one of those like title run cards that I've wanted to have for a long time, but haven't found one that was like under $30. They usually kind of sell between $40 and $60. So you were spot on what they usually go for. It was 25 or best offer, and it was one of those ones where I was like, I'm not gonna wait around for an offer. I'm just gonna bin it.
If it weren't for Posey, I would have put lower.
Yeah, that's fair. They're not particularly interesting patches. Like one of them's a bat relic, and then the other two are just white patches. You know how Triple Threads, like sometimes they have like a bunch of different things.
Yeah,
like,
that's cool.
Our boy, who posted that card? Rich Mori Cards posted that Ichiro Triple Threads relic. That is nasty. So if you want to see a sick Ichiro card, go follow Rich Mori Cards. That Triple Threads relic was nasty. My only other buy this week on eBay since our last episode was a 2017 Denard's Man Black out of 66 for $2 free shipping. So light work for me on eBay this week, Max, since we recorded last.
Nice. So
what do you got?
I'm pro Posey. So I mentioned the red Sapphire Acuna and Bobby Witt Gold Topps Platinum Anniversary auto, which is weird that I'm buying Bobby Witt rookies, even though we're just about the end of the 2023 season. I bought a Panini Photogenic Paolo Banchero Gold auto out of 10. If this card sounds familiar, it's because it is. This is now the second one I own. And I also bought the jersey number one too. That one was jersey number. So I own 20% of this Paolo Banchero Gold auto print run. I have hyped on this podcast that I like Photogenic and that I like that it's Panini's attempt at Stadium Club. And it's a niche online exclusive product. It has good photography. It's a gold auto at a 10. So I feel like I'm not like reaching too much by trying to get these. Like it's not like it's a random parallel. It's a gold auto out of 10 of the number one overall pick. So I feel like I'm not going that crazy here. But if I'm picking them up for like sub $500 raw from China where they're not sending them the PSA, then yeah, I'll buy them. I bought a radiating rookie. I bought two radiating rookies of Michael Harris. I bought a radiating rookie of Anthony Volpe. I bought a orange Topps Chrome out of 25 of Jordan Walker, the true, not the wave. I bought a gold. Sorry, I bought two Volpes, not not just one. I bought 2 full pays too. I bought a gold Michael Harris Topps Chrome Auto at a 50. And last but not least, for this week for eBay buys, I bought a Contenders ticket stub out of 13 of Keegan Murray.
Nice
Variation.
Keegan Murray. So, I like Keegan Murray a lot.
I really like this draft class. I'm just going to just say this a lot. I really do like this NBA draft class. I am not sure where to take my flipping avenues, since with baseball, if I sub anything out to PSA, I'm not banking on it being back by playoffs. But baseball's fun, and I love baseball the most, and I'm always going to be buying baseball. Football, we're starting in 2 weeks. I want to get out of the new season hype before I buy more football. And basketball has just been like, we are starting basketball in early October. I believe it's not late September. I believe it's early October. And it's late August right now. And I'll keep putting my money into basketball. I'm exhibiting being a basketball collector. I'm enjoying, like, that's the thing. Like, when I'm being this evil, dirty flipper thing, like, I'm enjoying being a Paolo Banchero collector and a Chet Holmgren collector and a Josh Giddey collector in the interim in between the season. And I just love owning dank cards of them right now. Even if I'm eventually not going to have them forever, I just enjoy the fact that I'm able to own like a Paolo Kaboom.
That's sick. I'm definitely pro you buying basketball cards, because I'm always interested to see like what you're into. Because honestly, I was looking at photogenic cards literally right before we recorded this podcast, because I was like, seems like a product that will be decent long term, as just like, this is like a sick product. I think most basketball card collectors will respect it going forward, even if it ceases to exist in the long term. So I thumbs up that purchase, which is rare for you in basketball. I actually approve.
Imagine if like the John Morant Luminance failed dunk over Kevin Love were a photogenic card. And
it would be
more than it did in Chronicles. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Luminance had a chance, with that card. If they had built off that card and made like a bunch of sick Luminance cards going forward, it would have been dope. But I feel like that's just such a one-off weird thing now that random line in Chronicles is never going to be remembered. But so in basketball, Max, I've been listening to your basketball buys for the last couple months. Yeah. Seems like you're really only focusing on like Contenders autos, like rare, the like Kaboom, Downtown, whatever, rare inserts. And then you're floating out random other ones sometimes, like the Choice Optic or whatever I've seen you buy. Like,
yeah, so this is my hypothesis, right? Like I go and look at either 1,500 or 2,500 eBay listings a night. I don't really want to do the math of how many I pick, but it's like, I just know each page is 240 pages, and I do like 3 to 4 pages of each of my queries, and I probably have 3 or 4 queries that I look at. So it's a lot. That's the point being, it's a lot. And I search by ending soonest, and I look at auctions, because most people are unreasonable with best offers, and I don't want to waste my time. And I know whether the seller likes it or not, the card is being sold on an auction. So, and what's ending soonest is usually just dependent on what's being ripped. And for what's being ripped, it's more and more Prism and higher. For basketball, it's just higher end. That's really the only thing. Like, these items have like, Kabooms and Downtowns, Contender autos, random Prism autos. That's what they're getting. I mean, I think I put it at like $250 or higher or something like that. I don't know. And that's just what shows up on a night-to-night basis. And it's not like, and it's interesting because I've been doing this for months. It's generally just not US-based accounts. It's not like Backyard Breaks is ripping a case of Prism and they're putting it all on eBay. It's like most of this is just all from China that's being consigned and being sold to the US, which is fascinating.
It is fascinating. Have you been following the saga with this Instagram account, Max?
That's vague.
Is it? Sorry, it's super vague. There's an Instagram account, and I'm gonna tell you, because I know you're not on Instagram too much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the app before I start this story so that you can look it up. KM, I think. Shit, what's this guy's at? Fuck. Anyway, I'm gonna find it while I start the story. But basically, there's a guy out there, or not guy, could be anyone, who's been posting some of the craziest cards of all time, like a lot of the like triple logo men from the mid 2000s, like all these 101. All right, here it is. It's Kimmy with a K Kimmy NG 143, all one word.
Okay.
It's like some of these. It's like the best Michael Jordan cards. It's it's mostly Bulls cards in general, but there's also just like Steve Nash, Logo Man, Auto. Like every card that's posted is like a 101 basically,
Okay.
and no one knows who this is. They started posting about a few weeks ago. All they post is absolute bangers, like nasty 101 crazy shit, and it's all like kind of 2000. It's like from like 98 to like 2013 kind of cards. Um, no one knows who it is. This is like a serious amount of cards where it's like this is like well over $10 million in cards. I think if they were to like all be liquidated,
Mm-hmm.
no one knows who it is. It's probably China based. But if you want to
Yeah.
look at some sick cards, go at Kimmy NG143. There's a lot of Instagram is kind of going crazy with this. Like all these influencers comment on all these cards because they're trying to figure out who this person is, but it doesn't look like this person replies to anything.
Okay. I'm trying to find this profile and I don't see it. Kenny NG143.
No, Kimmy, Kimmy.
That's why.
Sorry.
I'm like, Kenny. I don't know. Ken. Oh, wow. This is some cool Michael Jordan relics and autographs and logo
Dude, they
man.
got a David Lee logo man. David Lee.
Are we
That's
sure this
nasty.
is like them or they're. Oh, it's all in the
I,
same background.
all the same background, all just nasty bangers, all raw cards. Like
Can
none of
modern
them are
baseball
graded.
collectors be like this? That'd be so much cooler.
Dude, this is like I don't know. I'm kind of speechless with how nasty this is. It looks like the person has the National Treasures Steph Curry logo man rookie,
My
but it's
problem
like
with my problem with high-end basketball is this is all from the same uber high-end products, while high-end baseball is from a much wider distribution of products that are all available in retail. And I get that like international superstars are more significant, like basketball superstars are more significant than baseball superstars, but I don't know. I just like this is never about baseball when it's with like these uber high-end collections, and that hurts. That hurts as a
yeah,
baseball fan for modern. Obviously, you have
but
vintage collections.
yeah, it's just another reminder that there's people out there who have been collecting since the 90s who might not even be showing people their cards and not grading them, like all grail cards that could just be kind of like floating in single people's collections because they were just super hot on stuff that has gone at berserk in price since they bought it, and they don't care about selling it,
You
and
wanna know
it's just
something
sitting there.
interesting about this guy's collection?
Yeah,
It's all tops and upper deck. I don't see a single Panini card.
I've seen there are a couple Panini cards, but only like early because I went through it too. He has some like early absolute stuff, some timeless treasures logo man in there, but it is mostly. You're right. It's mostly tops, upper deck, exquisite stuff, and it's mostly patch autos and patches. It's not a ton of like non-auto, non-patch cards.
Yeah, I think it's like these players, like Jordan and LeBron, are billionaires. They're so rich that they don't need to sign their name for anything.
We didn't talk about the tops now LeBron. Did you see that?
I did see it. I thought it was cool. I thought it prompted some interesting what ifs, but I don't think I remembered it after the following day.
Yeah.
Would you like
I
to tell
guess
the
there's
story?
the
Would you like to
what?
break the news, Tommy, about what that is?
Sure. I feel like if you listen to this podcast in 50 minutes, you probably have seen it. But basically, there was a Mookie Betts and LeBron Tops Now card that was put out. And there's rumors since Upper Deck took LeBron off of their website as like one of their spokespeople or whatever. LeBron's been exclusive with Upper Deck, I think, for a long time. So there's never been autographed Panini LeBron cards during his run. So there's a lot of speculation that Fanatics now owns LeBron's rights, that they can put out cards with his face on them, and that they'll take over his autograph rights as well. So there'll be Topps Chrome autos of LeBron when it comes back and everything. So that's the speculation. The card was like kind of underwhelming with Mookie, but it is cool that there's a LeBron Mookie card out there that had never existed before. I'm excited to see what other sort of weird LeBron stuff. I feel like Fanatics will certainly squeeze the lemon as hard as possible there with LeBron, squeeze all the juice out of it. It'll be obnoxious, I bet, in the long run, but in this beginning stages, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, and I'm pro fun.
And we're pro fun, and that's the episode, Max. Do you have any final thoughts, final cards you want to talk about before we sign off?
Do I go clean shaven or porn stash or full facial hair? Reply tweet.
Please reply tweet. We'll see you guys next week.